Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Wake Up Legendary. My name's Matt. If you don't know me, I host on Wednesdays. I'm the CMO here at Legendary, and we've got another awesome guest. If you're newer to our community, if you're newer to our world, you can tune in to these episodes every single day, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern. And when we go live, we bring on a guest, somebody from our community. Maybe it's an affiliate of ours. Maybe it's just somebody who's out there getting results with our training. But basically, the goal is to bring you into their world and to show you inspirational stories of people who are entrepreneurial. Some of them aren't really even all that entrepreneurial. Some of them just happen to stumble upon this because they lost their job or like Amanda, quit their job. And I'm excited to hear her story and how she got started online. So, Amanda, what's happening?
Hi, how is everyone? Everyone's good today?
Awesome. Where are you currently calling in from?
All right, so I'm from Massachusetts and I'm just sitting at home trying to stay away from the kids.
Nice. Awesome. Very cool. So I thought one of the interesting things, and for those of you who are maybe tuning in for the first time or a little newer, I thought one interesting thing um, about your story and your questionnaire. We have all of our guests fill out a questionnaire that basically gives us a little bit of intel or just introduces us to you. And you had said that you quit your job earlier this summer in 2020 or 2021. And you started the challenge around the same day. So could
Yeah.
you tell us about like how you quit your job and how you found Legendary and why you decided to quit your job, and then how Legendary fit into that whole puzzle, I guess.
All right, well, so let me tell a little backstory. I've been at the same job for about 15 years.
Cool.
It was a residential home for teen girls,
Hmm.
and these were troubled teens, so it wasn't always easy to deal with. And for, I would say, 10 or 12 of that 15 years, I was struggling with what do I want to do with my life? Um, do I want to go to school? What kind of career do I want? And I could never think of anything that I was passionate about to do, but
Hmm.
I was so stressed out at work. It was my life. It was just a big stress ball. And then
Yeah.
in the summer, they were changing my position a little bit, and I wasn't appreciating it very much. And I was on vacation.
Hmm.
And my friend's like, "Oh, are you going to go camping with us at the end of the year?" I said, "Oh, yeah, I'll go." And she said, "Well, what happens if you have to work?" I said, "I'll quit." And then I realized how easy that was to say. So I actually
Ah,
wrote my boss an email right then and said, I won't come back after vacation. Have a nice life, basically. And
wow.
yeah. And then I want to say a couple days before I actually quit, I was just browsing on TikTok and I came across Legendary. I didn't even know what it was. I'd never heard of it before.
Yep.
And I didn't quit my job because I had found Legendary. It was kind of like this serendipity thing. But when I
Sure.
did quit, I thought, well, I really have to do something. I can't just sit here. And I don't want to go back to work at some other job I'm not happy with either. So let me give this a real good try and see
Sure.
where it goes. So that's what I did. I just dove into it and I put in as much effort as I could. I continue to learn and it's been growing. So I'm happy.
Yeah, for sure. And so, wow. When you first like purchased the challenge, I'm so curious, like, had you purchased anything like this before? Like, I mean, had you ever considered like making money on the internet? Like, is that a thing? Had you ever tried anything like that?
The only things that I had tried was things like Etsy or Redbubble. And because I'm an
Oh,
artist, I like to draw, I like to paint and do all those things. And I thought,
I see.
well, someone might like my stuff, but the problem is no one ever saw my stuff. You know what I mean? It just gets
Ah,
lost in it. So I never really made more than, I don't know, a handful of dollars.
yeah, like you have this great product, but it's like, how do I get people's eyeballs on it?
Exactly.
Huh.
Exactly. It was just one more picture and a whole list of other pictures, and that was it.
Right, right. Nice. Yeah, so I kind of feel like that's like I mean, this isn't meant to be like a shot at you or anything, but like the starving artist thing, which is like, hey, I've got this great product, but like, how do I actually market it and put it in front of people and like get sales basically? So you sold some stuff on Etsy,
Yeah.
and then you sort of made the shift or made the turn to trying to sell stuff online through social media and stuff like
Yeah.
that. What's that process been like?
Um, Basically, it's trying to figure out my schedule and learning what it is I need to do
Mm-hmm.
and how to do it. Because there's no really one way to do it, and it's different for everybody. So I worked on trying to find my groove and how I want to do it and how I want to come across to people. And I'm still working on that, but
Yeah, of course.
you know,
And we don't even expect people who come on this to be like, I've got this mastered. It's like
yeah, no,
a lot of the people who come on this show are like pretty new, like pretty brand new to this whole thing. And that's the cool part. Like that's exciting to me. What I mean,
definitely.
how long have you been on TikTok? What's that journey of getting on TikTok and posting videos been like? Like what's the last 6 months been like?
Well, um, before I quit my job, all the girls at my work, they would have TikTok and I would hear it all the time. And I'd kind of in the back of my head, like make fun of them, like, this is what you do all day. Like, you go on TikTok and, you know, but my friend sent me
Right.
this video. Yeah. My friend sent me this video and I couldn't watch it until I downloaded TikTok. So I was like, all right, let me see what this is all about.
Okay.
So I did. And I just dove in. I was like, oh, 3 hours, 4 hours later, I'm lost in TikTok. And
Yeah. I have a
so,
buddy who told me that he's like, the first time that I downloaded TikTok, I was on it for 6 hours and I had to delete the app. He was like,
yeah, yeah.
this is the first time I felt so out of control. I had to go and actually delete the app.
Yeah, it gets very addicting. But yeah, so that's how I found Legendary. I just saw all these people like, oh, I made this money, or, I'm living this lifestyle. And it just kept catching my attention. And I didn't bite onto it right away. But since I saw it so often, I was like, you know what? Let me see what this is all about. So I gave it a shot and here I am.
That's super cool. And when you did that, how long ago was that? And then also
Oh,
what's your do you create a certain amount per day, or do you like maybe take a day or two off here or there, or how do you go about that? Like how do you plan and structure that, or do you?
um, that's something I'm still working on. When I first started, I want to say, I started around the same time you guys did the Instagram challenge. That was
Okay.
probably like my first week. So that was back in August, I want to say.
Yeah, something like
Um,
that.
yeah. Um, and then I was posting like 4 or 5 times, and then things slowed down for me a little bit. So I was only posting like 3 times a day. But then I saw some other people here talking about how they post like 8 times a day and they're just getting tons of results. So I thought, okay, let me try to post 8 times a day, which is a little bit too much for me.
Yep.
So now I'm trying to keep it around 6 or so. And I will try to like, create them in batches.
Oops.
So I'll write as many as I can. I'll record as many as I can. And what's the word I'm looking for? Edit as many as I can
Yeah.
in that day and then put them out. And
Wow.
whatever I
That's a
have left
lot.
over, I can save. Yeah, it is a lot for one day.
Jeez.
Um, but I do try to like create them in batches. So I will save them and take a couple days off because I'm burnt out from the other days.
Yep.
So then I will have those days, and I always try to keep extra in my drafts. That way,
Yep.
if something comes up, I'm not stressing out thinking, oh, well, I can't do this because I have to make a video, or,
Yep.
it's just easier to have extras in your drafts.
Totally is.
Yeah.
Totally is. Have you ever tried? Here's an interesting thing.
Hmm.
Have you ever tried reposting your most popular video?
I have tried taking the same video that has already been posted and take it from my like from my gallery, whatever's in my camera, and
Hmm.
reposting that. And that doesn't work for me. But if I redo the videos
Yeah.
They will. Like if I refilm them, that will
Got it.
work for me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, we've had a couple people in our community. One guy, Spencer, who reposted this same video about um, creating kids books on Amazon Kindle, and he posted it once and then posted it like two more times, and same exact video. All the caption said was, "This video did well the first time," and he got like 2 million views the first time. He got another million the next time,
Wow.
and then like 500,000 the next time, and it was like, and I was just blown away by that. It was because it's such an easy way to repurpose content, but
Yeah.
um, I do kind of feel like it's a really good idea to do that re-record thing.
Hmm.
But I think what people don't realize is that, if somebody finds me 3 months ago, and somebody new finds me, person B finds me 3 months later, like let's say they found me yesterday,
Yeah.
um, this person probably didn't see all of this content 3 months ago. And
Right.
so, and they probably won't scroll if I'm creating 6 a day, which by the way, that is insane. That is really impressive. But I just think that people, what happens is they'll look back and they'll be like, oh, I made that video already. I did that like 5 months ago, or I did that 4 months ago. And I think that people who are creating content should just realize, like, there's a lot of people who
Hmm.
have joined or seen your or became a follower of yours who have not seen that.
Right.
And it would probably do really well again and generate you a whole handful of followers and leads and engagement again. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's definitely a good idea. And I do utilize that. I'll go through my roles and I'll see like, oh, this video did really well. Let me see if I can recreate it. I haven't quite
Super,
figured out how
super.
to like repost them and get views because I don't know. TikTok doesn't like it when I do that. But
Yeah, I think the case might be that the case might be that they've updated their algorithm to
Mhm.
not do that, the growth of that quite as much anymore.
Right.
So that could be the case, but also, no, I don't know. I mean, I've seen people take basically the same video. This girl who was on yesterday, her name's Camila. She has two
Oh
different
yeah.
accounts, and she'll record the same video twice, like back to back. She'll post one to one channel, she'll post one to the other channel, and and she said this multiple times, like, on a random day, one might get like 50,000 views, and then on the other account, it might get 200 views. And it's
Exactly. Yeah.
basically the exact same video. So it's like you're dealing with a lot of different things when you post content. And sometimes people get too hard on themselves because you might just be dealing with, the time of day that you post. You might be
Hmm.
dealing with the algorithm. You might be dealing with a weird bit of downtime in the amount of viewers who are on the app. Like there's a lot that goes into it, and
Hmm.
the only real way to determine if you're going to be successful or not is just to keep going, and
Exactly.
posting that amount each day is a good way to do that, because you're posting enough where it's like, hey, if I do this for like a year, like, and I'm not successful, like this is not for me. At least the content creation route.
Right.
You could do ads or you could do different forms of marketing, but at least in that realm, you would have a clear answer, right? Some people come to me
Hmm.
after a month or two and they're like, hey, I posted like 12 videos. It's like,
Hmm.
well, that you need more.
Yeah.
We don't have a big enough sample size for me to even tell you what to do better. Um, so you're creating content. Your last 2 weeks ish have really taken off. You've had amazing results over the last couple of weeks. Are you generating like a lot of leads, or are your sales and stuff coming mostly from like a smaller amount of leads that you're cultivating and turning into sales? Like, what's that been like?
Well, I've that's part of the thing I'm still working on. Um, how to talk to people and introduce them to things. I struggle with that. Um, but I want to say some videos get really big and I'll get a ton of leads from them. And I think I've generated some, members from that.
Hmm.
But really, I just try to help people as best as I can. Um, and like I said, some of the videos just take off and I get a lot of attention, and they'll be like a week or two or more where like it's not much of anything, but because that other video did so well, it's still generating traffic and people to come in and see my page and things like that. So I haven't quite figured everything out yet, but I'm learning.
Yeah, well, and kudos to you because I think, look, there's a lot of places, um, there's a lot of places in a customer's journey where they, there's a lot of places in an affiliate's journey rather,
Right.
where they can slow down or even quit. And you started in August, September, um, in that range, and you went all of September, all of October, all of November, and most of December, a good chunk of December, not most, but a good chunk of December, without really big commissions. And you were grinding and making sales,
Mhm.
but it was a little bit slow, right? A little
I guess.
slower. And that's a little bit more typical for people. And sometimes we get these amazing success stories of six figures in 3 months, right? Like that's a crazy result.
Yeah,
And
I
your
love that.
result, yeah, your result has been more typical. And what you've done is just continually grind and continually go after it. And it's paid off really well in the last couple of weeks where things have really taken off in a bigger sense, right? And
Yeah.
when you're trying to get, like for instance, coaching or something that's more high ticket, something that's costs more money, you need a bigger pool of small ticket customers or leads, right? And so
Right.
sometimes people get discouraged when they get 10 people to purchase a product for $30 or something, and nothing happens for larger upsells. Well, you kind of have to grind and you kind of have to generate a bigger pool of leads and sales in order for
Hmm.
you to then produce larger ticket commissions. And a lot of people don't have the patience to wait for that. But you're in a place now where like going from this online thing generating a couple $100 a month to a couple $1,000 a month, and that's a big difference, right? Like that could pay a
Yeah,
mortgage, that could pay your car bill, like that
exactly.
that that's
Big
an
help.
actual living, yeah, that's an actual living income.
Right.
And probably more than you were making at the residential facility, if I had to guess, or very
Yeah.
close.
Yeah. Like I said, I was there for 15 years, so it wasn't too bad, but it
Sure.
wasn't that great either. And this past month, I definitely exceeded what I would have made at my other job.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and the other thing, and look, it's probably a bit, and there's also downsides to the fact that it's a bit more up and down, right? So
Mhm.
like there's more volatility maybe in a business than there is in a salary job, like that's obvious, but there's also my wife works in mental health. I know what a residential facility is like in theory, and
Yeah.
she used to work at the inpatient hospital that would send kids to the residential facility. So
Hmm.
it's yeah, the stress, the anxiety, the you're walking into massive amounts of chaos every single day,
You never know what's going to
guaranteed.
happen.
Guaranteed, yes. And because of that, so you're just I'm just drawing a contrast with like, former life, current life. Like certainly creating 6 TikTok videos a day is easier from a mental and emotional standpoint than walking into that every single day for 15 years. That's for
Oh, for
sure.
sure. Yeah.
But also, I also just always tell people like you have to remember and consider too that the entrepreneurial journey is one where you put yourself in control, right? So you choosing to keep going month after month after month before you have this massive result. That's a thing that only can happen in entrepreneurship. You can't do that working in a mental health residential facility. There's only so much you can do. You have to go ask and beg for a raise, and a lot of times people don't give you that raise. And like that happened to my wife, so she quit as well and started her own therapy practice. She's like, screw this, I'm gonna do my own thing.
Right.
And it's worked out really well. But there's only one way to get there. That's usually through entrepreneurship. It's usually through starting your own thing and becoming your own boss and taking over that onus of control. So with where you're currently at right now and things starting to get rolling, I wanted to ask you if you've ever gone live on TikTok.
I have, but not very recently. I don't seem to be very confident in them, I want to say.
Okay.
'Cause you know how it is when you're first starting out. You only have a couple people in there,
Yep.
if anybody at all.
Yep.
And I would seem to always get people who are some that might be general interest, but more often than not, I get people who are just trying to get a rise out of me or
Sure.
say something rude or whatever. And I do my best to ignore them. But after 15, 20 minutes, I feel like I've told my whole story and I'm just rambling on. So that's something I have to work on. But yeah, I hear lives are definitely beneficial in the way you should go. But that's my personal struggle right there.
Yeah. Well, I love that honesty. Um, the lives are tricky, especially
Mhm.
with, I would say, especially with around the amount of followers, you're around 14, 15,000 followers,
Yeah.
especially around that many followers, the lives are tricky because of that exact reason. You get around, let's say, 0 people to 5 people for a good portion. Sometimes it bumps up to 10, 20. um, but it's a smaller amount. But the one thing that I would say is it provides you the opportunity to connect with people. And
Mhm.
here's what you will see. Here's what you will see from lives. And I'm telling everybody, basically when you get 1,000 followers, you should go live, and you should basically commit to live being part of your daily operating routine, the same way that creating 6 videos is, and taking 30 to 60 minutes to teach somebody something. Because and here's why. I don't have like any hidden agenda here. The only reason is I see a lot of people who get 10, 20, 30, 50,000 followers. And when they start going live, their purchases, meaning the amount of customers that they get, grows a lot. If for any given product, any service, coaching, consulting, our affiliates here at Legendary, all of it. And in fact, it was so drastic about a year ago to the point where this one girl, she was at our mastermind this last week, King. She had like 50 or 100,000 followers or something, and she could barely drive a sale from all of those followers. She started going live, and she would do 3, 5 sales every single time she went live, and really started generating a lot of really quality customers. It transformed her whole business. And I think that pushing through that initial sort of level of fear or whatever, or anxiety, I encourage people to watch Ian, the entrepreneur guy on TikTok, and Power of Publish, Calvin Hill on TikTok, because they go live almost every day. And when they go live, it's really powerful, and they do a good job. And you can learn a lot from how they go live, and what they say and think, and the way that they teach. Because what you can do then is it gives you filler time to not just be focused on the questions and what people are saying in the chat.
Mhm.
So it would basically what Calvin does is he has enough content where he's just going and talking about crypto and talking about how you need to generate income from a digital business in order to
Mhm.
invest in crypto when there's a bear market. And so he's just talking until he sees a comment that he wants to engage, right? So rather than just sitting and engaging in comments, and then it's like, well, I have to get to this next comment, I have to
Yeah.
answer this question. He's just going live and he's just sitting talking about crypto, and he's pointing his phone around and he's pointing his phone at the crypto charts and all of this stuff. And then he's like, hey, we're about to enter a bear market, and you've got to have a good income in place, cash flowing, in
Yeah.
order to even invest when it goes down. When the markets go down, that's when wealth is created. And
Mhm.
so,
Yeah.
and then he points people to our challenge. And you can see in the chat right now, there's people saying Calvin's a badass. I came in through Calvin. I bought the challenge through Calvin. Like, he's it got 1.2 million followers, so it's a little bit different, right? He has 45,000 people watch his lives, but
That's crazy.
it all started and began exactly where you're at. So there's my challenge to you is to go into those things with simple little maybe mini lessons, like things. Remember that many people don't know that you can even make money on the internet, right? So
Right.
that's the niche and industry you're playing in. So you can go live and have a green screen above you and just basically say, like, top 5 business models of 2022. And you could just sit there and be like, hey, here's number 1, and it's like, and then people, as they're tuning in, you can go through them again, and you can, as you're halfway through, you can be like, hey, we're on number 3, but number 5 and number 4 were XYZ, for those of you who just joined. And then as
Yeah.
people are commenting, you can engage. So you might only have 10 minutes of content, but you can drag that live out to 30 to 60 minutes just by engaging those little questions as you go. Anyway,
That's a good
just an
idea.
idea, but I'm telling you that those lives, especially after you get a video that gets tens of thousands of views,
Mhm.
go live right in the midst of that influx of all those new followers. Because if they just hit follow on you and now you go live, guess who's going to show up in their For
Yeah,
You
that's
page?
you.
You're live.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Come up with a lesson plan and do that. And
Yeah,
that's a
it
great
doesn't have
idea.
to be crazy. I mean, you can literally just take a freaking sheet of paper right here and just write down, top 3 business models of 2022,
Yeah.
and or top 3 ways to make money online in 2022. And freaking, you could do, freelance digital marketing. You could do OnlyFans, and you could do drop shipping, and like, and you could just be like, hey, here you go. Like, here's 3 ways to do it. And I'll talk through each of them, talk through their business model, talk through how you make money with them,
Yeah.
different ways to generate traffic and market your business, stuff like that. And, you could, yeah, I just, anyway, this is
I know
to
what you mean. It's
everybody
more
who's
personal
watching,
that
to
way.
everybody who's listening. This live thing is such a powerful way for you to engage, even when there's only a couple people on to start. That thing grows, and when it grows, it gains a lot of steam and a lot of traction, and it helps your channel too. Helps the health of the channel. Anyway, sorry for the rant. I get really
That was great.
passionate about that, and I think it's a really underrated thing. For people, I'll give you the last word after my huge rant here, but for people who are new, people who are getting started, people who are maybe posting that first video, they got it in the drafts, but they haven't hit post yet. What would you say to those people? How would you coach them if they were sitting down talking with us right now? What would you say to them?
Just do it. Just be your silly self, or however it is. Even if you make a mistake, put it out there anyway, because people are going to appreciate you for who you are. And I've done the same thing. I've posted my videos where I just get tongue tied, and it doesn't matter. Just put it out there and keep
Yep.
going and be consistent, like they say, and do it every day. Just don't
Yep.
give up.
I love it. Totally. Cool. Well, I'm gonna put your TikTok handle up here. People have been clamoring in the comments to get access to that. So,
I'll probably link
thanks,
that.
Amanda, for coming on, and stay in touch with us. I mean, let us know how things are going. Let us know if we can help you in any way, and we'd love to have you back on in a couple months and see how things are going.
Oh, I would love to do that. Thank you very much for having me.
Cool. Of course. All right, guys. I'm gonna put her. Oh, I already did. Right here. Make money with Amanda Lynn. Also put it in the chat here. And if you see her go live, all right, you better tune the hell in and give her some love. Send her some gifts in the live. All right. And make sure to give her a follow and tell her that you saw her on Wake Up Legendary. And the whole goal, the whole point of this community is just to lift other people up, to lift each other up, to be a supportive community for people. And Amanda's on the way up, so you're going to want to watch her videos. I've seen a few of her videos yesterday and today, and she's on to something. So you might want to watch her videos and take some notes because she's killing it. And so we'll be back here, guys, tomorrow and Friday, same time, same place, 10 a.m. Eastern. Thanks again, Amanda, for coming on. We will be one final thing. If you want a text message reminder before you leave, we send out a text message every single Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, and it gives a little bit of a hint about what's coming on the show. And it'll also give you a little link you can just tap to enter into the live video. So it makes it a little bit easier. But we're always on Facebook. You can just go into our Facebook group and we post it in there as well. So go give Amanda a follow on TikTok. It's also in the chat. It's Make Money with Amanda Lynn, 2 N's at the end. Peace out, everybody.